And today, we're about to drop that pretty soon. I'm pushing back on
Who are you pushing back on?
Former New York Giants running back and current New York Sports Talk Radio windbag, Tiki Barber.
Oh, Tiki. What Tiki didn't say?
You know what he said about Saquon Barkley when he signed with the Eagles, that he was dead to him, and which was utterly ridiculous. If you remember, the Giants came out with this chart and told everybody how running backs start to go backwards and decline at age 27. And then Saquon came in first game against the Giants, right, at the Meadowlands or whatever it's called, MetLife, and ran off for 176 yards, only 17 carries, had a touchdown, had 68 more yards than the Giants had as a team yesterday.
Ridiculous.
And this is the guy that they're blaming because the Giants signed Daniel Jones instead of Saquon Barkley. And then they're mad at him because the Eagles gave him an offer that was worthy of his talent, and the Giants didn't even give him an offer.
As if he was supposed to stay loyal to them.
Right.
It wasn't like he was, put in 10 years with them. They'd won a ring, and I'm never going to the enemy. Man, I'm still on this, coming out of this rookie deal. I need y'all to take care of me, give me the bag so we can continue to do what we're doing. I want to stay here. Let's make this thing happen. They made a big mistake. Rob G, do we have the sound of what the owner Mara had to say about Saquon Barkley? If you were watching Hard Knocks, the offseason edition, listen to what Mara said about Saquon Barkley. He was concerned. This is when he was a free agent, as you were talking about, and he was like, man, I really hope he doesn't go to
how? He didn't offer him a contract. Like the idea that I don't want him to go to this team or that team. Really?
Yeah.
Once you decide you're not going to sign him, what do you care?
Right. Here's what he had to say.
I'm going to have a tough time sleeping if Saquon goes to Philadelphia. I'll tell you that. As I've told you, just being honest. I have been around enough players. So, but he's the most popular player we have by far.
Yeah.
So why y'all let him go?
He's so popular that they signed Daniel Jones and didn't give him a contract.
And I don't even like the term popular, right? Because you can be popular. Every team, whether pick the sport, has a popular guy who's like a utility guy, whatever the sport is. No, he was your most popular and your best player. Sometimes they may not go hand in hand, right? Your best player, most popular, might be the fun guy who comes off the bench and gets the crowd. Like, Birdman or something like that down in Miami. Like, you can have that kind of guy. No, he was the most popular and the best player by far, and you got rid of him. And I was talking about this, like, why do sometimes they do? You don't have to do the copycat league. Well, everybody else is getting running backs. Nobody else believes in running backs. Everybody else says you can just dump a running back. Yeah, I get that. If your running back is solid, you guys had a special running back, right? You have a Christian McCaffrey, Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry type running back. We ain't just getting rid of those types of backs. And it's come to bite him. And I know he was kind. He had a chance to go get, 12, 17 more yards to set his own personal record. He said, no, I don't know if you got a chance to see that, Rob. He said, no, let the young boys. They came to him and said, hey, you can keep going and, break your own record. He's like, nah, let the young boys go. So I like what Saquon's about. He's about winning. He's about putting up some big-time numbers on his former team. And, they absolutely missed that. Just following the trend. Nobody signs running backs. Nobody does this. Man, you're in a different situation. You don't have a franchise quarterback that's good. Your team wasn't that great. He is, however. He's that special. He's that unique. Keep him. And you didn't have to pay him something crazy, 120 guaranteed.
No, but he's the reason.
Care of him.
But he was the reason Daniel Jones got off.
We're worried about him, not you, Daniel Jones.
Because of the threat
of Saquon
that allowed Daniel Jones to do his thing. And everybody now knows what a terrible deal that was for Daniel Jones. And the idea, I mean, after that game yesterday, the general manager, front office people, whoever signed off on that whole thing to let Saquon go and sign Daniel Jones, they all should have been fired. What an embarrassing thing. And Daniel Jones, Rob G, what is it? He hasn't thrown a touchdown since last year? He hasn't thrown a touchdown in New York or in New Jersey since last year. Like, are you kidding? He finally got benched right in that game. They lost 28-3. They can't get anything going. How in the world? Who's running these teams? The general manager had the nerve to come out and tell you about running backs.
Well, here's
and
what
at 27 is when they decline, and so we're not going to sign him, but we'll sign this terrible quarterback whose year that they paid him $40 million had like 15 touchdowns in 17 games. That was the guy? That was the guy you had to have? Come on.
I'm telling you, it's just a copycat league. If ever, about 7-8 years ago, maybe it was a year, maybe a little longer now, everybody started to give up on the running backs. They started to give up on them. Oh, they get hurt. Or, I can just find me a fifth, round running back. I'll be fine.
No, you can't.
It's like, yeah, maybe for a handful of guys and maybe even the 2/3 of the league, I'll give you that. But there's a certain sector where you look at him and say, that's different.
Derrick Henry. Ask Baltimore.
Tennessee sure could use Derrick Henry now instead of getting rid of him.
How about McCaffrey when he left?
When McCaffrey's healthy, you saw he went straight to the 49ers. You see what he's done. Been arguably the best player, one, two, or three offensive MVP caliber guy with the 49ers. So to me, you have to take each situation, each player on its own merit, right? All right, what do we have? Who are we? What do we do? He's our most popular player. We're selling jerseys. He's giving it his all. It's not like he has a bad rap or we don't believe he works hard. He's dedicated to us. He's played hard. Let's set the good karma for taking care of this guy, setting the mold, setting the team for this is how we are. This is the franchise. You come play well. You work hard. You'll be rewarded. We're going to start heading in the right direction. And you got rid of your best player, your most popular player, and you signed Daniel Jones. And now you look like a team that signed Daniel Jones.
Look at how the Giants deserve all of this. They
got to change
do.
their name, the Smalls.
Right.
They got to be the New York City Smalls or something.
They deserve all of this because I don't like you don't even have to be a front office person. How did they get this wrong? They really looked at Daniel Jones and thought, if we got to pick between these two guys, Saquon Barkley and Daniel Jones, it's going to be Daniel Jones.
They gave him a lot of money, too. It wasn't like they signed him because they're like, hey, he's been solid, he's good enough, we think blah, 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 blah. They gave him a lot of money that Daniel Jones' agent probably was like, huh?
He said, did you call the right number?
Right, hello?
Hello?
Daniel Jones? This is who you, right? Because it didn't make any sense. And again, I'm glad to see some of these running backs are getting, the I guess, revenge, if you will, and starting to have a bunch of success with these teams who realize, we're the Baltimore Ravens. We're already good. We already went to the AFC Championship game. You know what will make us even better? Him, Derrick Henry.
And here's the other thing, too. And this is where I'm going to push back on the fans, the Giants fans. How dare they boo Saquon Barkley? How dare they burn his jersey as if he did something wrong? The Giants didn't offer him a contract.
Right.
I don't even understand the whole notion. I get that there's a rivalry between the Eagles and the Giants. It's one thing if the Eagles and the Giants offered him the same amount of money or the Giants offered him more money and he went to the Eagles. All bets are off there, right? Oh, no, he left us. We tried to take care of him. We showed him love this whole time here. But no. Remember, he had to hold out 1 year and had to come back begging basically to get no kind of pay and then to go to the Giants. And then they basically had no deal for him because they decided that they weren't going to pay both of those guys. And the fans are mad somehow are mad at Saquon Barkley. It's the same thing with Tiki Barber, who I have on the pushback. Tiki Barber says, he's dead to me. Dead to you? How? What did Saquon do?
He literally wanted to stay there, tried to stay there, had to hold out. And remember, he was just trying to keep this a right attitude last season. Like, hey, I'm just here. I'm going to just do what I got to do. I'm going to just ball out and just let the chips fall where they may. Like, y'all clearly don't want me or you want me for a disrespectful rate.
Right.
That doesn't make any sense. Another team appreciates my skill set, wants me, sees my value. So what if they're in the division? So what if they're an hour and a half drive away, whatever it is? Like, that's on y'all.
Why wouldn't you go where somebody is willing to pay you what you're worth?
Absolutely. And everybody listening would do that right now.
But a fan's burning his jersey? Seriously.
That was a weird one because, again, it wasn't as if he did it on purpose. And he hasn't even really slighted them either. He hasn't been overly critical of them. He's just kind of moved on with his life. Yeah, that's a strange one. This is why I get mad at fans who get mad at players and never really mad at ownership, never really get mad at general managers. The same people who sit here, hold press conference, he's a lifer. We're never getting rid of this guy. We're so happy he's here. Trade him a year later. Make bad decisions. Sign bad folks. Draft terribly. And then a guy says, hey, man, this is a horrible situation, a horrible environment. I want out of here. And they're mad at the player. Meanwhile, the general manager, the ownership is the one cultivating this bad environment, bad team, making bad decisions. They've like tricked the common man into getting mad at the common man for some big, money man stuff, money men type stuff. It's the most remarkable thing to me.
All right.
That they've been able to pull that off.
100%.